Hello everyone, my name is Chastity Collado, and today I will be delivering my persuasive speech on the need for accessible everyday mental health coping tools and how using intention and awareness can support mental well-being. Have you ever worked really hard towards something and still felt like nothing was moving forward? Like no matter how much effort you put in, life just keeps piling on stress, doubt, and uncertainty? That feeling has become increasingly common in a world where pressure, burnout, and emotional exhaustion are a part of everyday life. While conversations about mental health have become more visible, many people still struggle daily with anxiety, stress, and a lack of motivation. Professional resources exist, but they are not always accessible, immediate, or sufficient on their own. As a result, many individuals are left without practical tools they can use consistently to cope with stress and regain a sense of control. Because many people lack accessible everyday mental health coping tools, it is necessary to explore additional strategies that support resilience and motivation. One such strategy is manifestation, when understood as intentional awareness and goal directed thinking. To explain this speech will first examine the scope of the mental health problem, then discuss why current solutions are not always enough, and finally propose manifestation as a supportive psychological tool when framed scientifically. Mental health challenges are widespread and continue to affect a significant portion of the population. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, 12.1% of adults in the United States report regular feelings of worry, nervousness, or anxiety, while 4.8% report regular feelings of depression. These challenges do not only appear during moments of crisis, they affect people during school, work, relationships, and everyday responsibilities. Stress and anxiety often stem from feeling powerless or uncertain about the future. When individuals feel like they have little control over their circumstances, motivation decreases and emotional exhaustion increases. Over time, this can lead to burnout, avoidance, and a sense of hopelessness that makes it difficult to move forward. The core issue is not that people are unwilling to seek help. Rather, many lack accessible internal tools they can rely on consistently. Mental health struggles do not wait for appointments, and coping cannot depend solely on formal systems. Without daily strategies to manage stress and refocus attention, people are left vulnerable to emotional overload. Now that we've established why this lack of everyday coping tools is a serious problem, let's look at current solutions that do exist. Oh, excuse me. Current solutions. One existing solution to mental health challenges is traditional support systems such as therapy, counseling, and medication. These approaches are backed by extensive research and have helped many people manage anxiety, depression, and chronic stress. When accessible and consistently used, therapy can be an effective way to learn coping strategies and reframe negative thought patterns. However, despite their effectiveness, these solutions are not reaching everyone who needs them. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, only about 20% of adults with mental health conditions in the United States receive any form of mental health treatment in a given year, and only around 10% receive counseling or therapy from a mental health professional. In addition, Mental Health America reports that in 2024, more than 28 million adults with mental illness did not receive any mental health treatment, and over 50% of adults with mental illness went untreated. This shows that even though therapy exists and can be effective, the majority of people who could benefit from it are not actually receiving it. Limitations include barriers such as cost, long wait times, limited availability, and stigma which prevent many individuals from accessing consistent care. Even for those who do attend therapy, support is often limited to scheduled sessions, while stress, anxiety, and self-doubt continue to appear in everyday moments. As a result, many people are left without practical tools they can use daily to manage their mental health. Because of these limitations, it becomes clear that professional care alone cannot meet every need, which raises the question of what additional coping strategies can people use in their daily lives. This is where manifestation can be reframed in a more grounded and realistic way. Rather than viewing manifestation as wishful thinking or superstition, it can be understood as a practice of intentional awareness, focus, and belief. According to psychological science, understanding human behavior, consciousness is an active process that shapes attention, perception, and behavior. Human awareness naturally shifts across different states, including focus, attention, and reflexive thinking, which influence motivation and decision making. Psychological, psychologist, Kendra Cherry, explains that directing awareness towards specific goals can enhance clarity and engagement. When individuals practice manifestation through goal visualization, intentional focus, and positive belief, they are engaging in cognitive strategies similar to goal setting and self efficacy, both well established psychological concepts. Even if manifestation does not change external circumstances instantly, it changes how individuals perceive challenges and respond to them. The shift in mindset can reduce feelings of helplessness and increase persistence, which are essential components of mental resilience. To better understand how this works beyond theory, it's helpful to look at how manifestation can function in real life. In my own experience, manifestation became useful during a period when school, work, and personal expectations felt overwhelming. Before that, I had already tried traditional solutions. During high school, I saw four different therapists, granted, all at separate times, but for the first three, I wasn't giving the process my best effort. As a teenager dealing with anxiety, burnout, and panic attacks, the last thing I believed would help me was sitting in a room and talking about my feelings. To me, talking about them felt pointless, and honestly, it felt like admitting that something was wrong, almost like an admission of guilt. However, when I began meeting with my fourth therapist, something had changed. I made a conscious decision to approach therapy differently. I promised myself that I would be open, that I would actually believe it could help. That shift in mindset mattered more than I expected. Because I changed how I perceived therapy, I started applying the methods I was learning instead of resisting them. I began reframing the way I thought about myself, my stress, and my reactions. This is where manifestation came into play in a practical way. By setting intentions, visualizing progress, and shifting my awareness toward action instead of anxiety, I felt more grounded and capable of moving forward. This didn't eliminate stress entirely, but it helped me stay motivated and present. That experience showed me that belief paired with intention can function as a coping mechanism, not as an escape from reality, but as a way of engaging with it more productively. Manifestation should not replace professional mental health care. Instead, it should be used as a supportive, everyday practice alongside existing solutions. This can include setting realistic, achievable goals, practicing intentional focus and visualization, using positive self talk and cognitive reframing, and pairing belief with consistent action. These steps align closely with established psychological techniques, making manifestation a structured mental habit rather than a fantasy. As I begin to conclude, mental health challenges are widespread, and many people lack accessible tools to manage daily stress and uncertainty. While traditional solutions are valuable, they are not always enough on their own. Manifestation, when reframed as intentional awareness and goal directed thinking, offers an additional way for individuals to cope, stay motivated, and build resilience. By combining belief with action and awareness with effort, people can regain a sense of control in an overwhelming world. That feeling of working hard but going nowhere does not have to mean failure. Sometimes, it simply means we need better tools to help us keep moving forward. Addressing mental health requires more than treatment after a crisis. It requires everyday strategies that help people keep going. And sometimes, learning how to focus belief in a productive way is exactly where that begins. Thank you.